All right, guys, so we got lucky. Someone in town, the usual store that I go to, I usually go there and they usually have it stocked up. For some reason, the lady couldn't find it. But this was months ago, so I don't know if they sent it back or sold it to somebody else. But we were able to locate some DOT 5.1. So we're going to go ahead and swap that fluid. We're going to be starting, we'll start off, take the wheels off and all that stuff. We got to start from the back right, then rear left, then front right, and then front left. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so to do this, you're gonna need, actually, let me grab it. You're gonna need, if you're by yourself, it's easier if you have someone with you because you can just have them pump the brakes or you pump the brakes, vice versa, and then you'll have to crack the valve. What you'll need, for sure, is it's called a flare end wrench. This one's a 10 mil for the FRS. I don't know what you have for yours. Most of them are like 10 or whatever. But you need one of those. I picked up an AutoZone for like, I don't know, maybe $5-6. And then you're gonna need whatever fluid you want. This is not the fluid that I wanted, but it's the fluid that they had, so eventually I'll change it out. And then you'll need the brake bleeder kit if you're by yourself. And it is literally just this little bottle right here. A lot of people do like the like a Gatorade bottle, and they do the same thing. And it's got a little hose in here just to keep it from going back. It's like a check valve or whatever, to keep it from sucking fluid back into there. But this is what I use all the time. I broke the last one I had and it was pretty good. I like the magnet on there, so I use this. This was $10 as well. Picked this up at O'Reilly, as well as the fluid and everything else. But it's got the accessories. I don't need any of that. But so this is the fluid that I've got. I've got like maybe 30,000 miles on this car, and with all the track days and everything, I have switched this fluid. This is now the 4th or 5th time, and I'm actually behind because I should be changing it before. But this is the old fluid, and then when we get to it, we'll get the new fluid in there, and it'll be much cleaner than this. But yeah, let's get started. All right, so to do this, you're gonna want to, like I said, start at the furthest brake from the brake master cylinder, which would be the back right, and then we'll be moving to the front, or I'm sorry, the back left, and then the right front, and then the right, or the left front. You'll be starting, there's a little valve on the back of here. Oh, right there. There's a little valve sticking up, and it should have a little cap on it, a little black cap. It's just a little rubber grommet. Just grab it, pull it up. Don't lose this, because you don't want to get dirt and everything, crud and all that stuff in there. So try to pull it out and set it somewhere where you're gonna find it. And then for the one-man brake bleeder, or even if you're doing it by yourself, or you just want to collect the fluid, just put the little valve on, or the little hose on the valve. It's kind of tight, it's real tight fit. Just throw that on there, and with this kit, you just take it and stick it to something that's metal, magnetic. And I mean, this is probably not going to work, because as soon as I start filling this with fluid, the weight's probably going to pull it down, so I'll probably stick it somewhere else. But yeah, so you'll do this, and then you will, let me move it over here. You'll do this, and then you'll crack the valve open a little bit. You'll get in there and you'll give it like 3 or 4 pumps. While you're doing this, you want to make sure that you keep fluid in your master cylinder. So like every 5 or 6 pumps or whatever, or 2 times doing this, you want to go up there and make sure your master cylinder is full, because if you get air in there, it gets empty, and you get air in there, you're gonna have to start this whole process over, and it becomes a pain in the ass. So yeah, just crack the valve. I know I have fluid in there still. What you're doing is you're just flushing all that old fluid that's already in the line. You're pushing it out and refilling it with the new fluid to take its place. But let's get started with it. sure to get this stuff off of any kind of painted surface because it will eat through paint. That was a mistake on my part. Not paying attention to how full the bottle was. You guys could see it, I'm sure. But then you just pop the cap open or pop it off and dump it so that you can recycle it or whatever you gotta do with it. Well, let's keep going.
Yeah. Somebody get the bottles, man. About to have a good time out here tonight. Sun going down. Look. Summertime with a cooler full of ice. Bad bras with no bras, we roll dice. And no fights, we tryna get drunk. Call a cab, bruh, we tryna get home. Any girl on the beach, I'ma grab her. If she bad, then the color don't matter. Full bladders, got a six-pack. Barbecue on the grill with a Kit Kat. Yeah, and you know my motto. No empty bottles.
All right, guys. Now we're done. We used a full bottle and then like 2/3 of this other bottle. These are 24 ounces, or I'm sorry, 24. These are 12 ounces, 24 total, and that was enough for me. I used just alone in the rear was a full bottle. But I mean, you think about it, it's gotta go from the master cylinder all the way back to the back brakes or the calipers. Longer distance than the fronts. During this, you may have seen that this thing fell, and when it did, it broke my magnet. So for the fronts, it just kept sliding down. Which became a pain, but I could probably see if I can take that back and return it to the parts store and swap another one after this quarantine stuff's over. I'm gonna try to get another one of those. Also, you saw that my front right and my front left, the bolts themselves were kind of stripped. I knew this one was kind of stripped. I knew about that one, but that one I started turning it and started getting sketchy, so I just took some clamp or vice grips, clamp them on there real tight. Just be careful with it, man. I hate using those, but I gotta replace those, get another set to replace those. But I used those, popped it loose a little bit, and then was able to use the flare end. That's why you want to use a flare end, so that you don't run into issues like that, and they get stuck. But obviously, like I said, quarantine, so I can't really go test it, but the brakes feel real stiff. Some of the things that I ran into is, as you can tell from the mess and up in there, I let it overflow. So try doing like 5 to 6 pumps most with that. Unless you're with a person that's doing it for you, then you don't have to worry about this issue. But with that one-man bleeder, I did like 5 or 6 pumps, and then I got ballsy and did a couple more, and that's when it shot out the top. And then I kind of had an issue on the other side as well. So yeah, just be careful with that. Don't get that stuff on the paint, like I said before. If you get it on paint, then it peels. It literally just peel paint away after time. So as soon as it gets on it, then you need to wipe it immediately. This is all kind of plastic, so it's not that big of a deal, but still. And when I was doing this, I was doing slow pumps, just slow, and then bring your foot. Don't just let your foot go so that it flies back up. Slow in and slow out. It'll be soft when you're doing it. Now we can see that the fluid's much cleaner than it was before. I mean, that sun is shining pretty bright, so it's kind of hard to see, but yeah, it's much cleaner than it was. It's no longer like orange. It's got like the yellow to it. So hopefully this helps some of you guys. I guess we're just gonna try to find something else that we can do on this. And this is like day 5 of this, 2 weeks of sitting inside. So I'm sure I'll find something else we're gonna be able to do.
With a cooler full of ice. Bad bras with no bras, we roll dice. And no fights, we tryna get drunk. Call a cab, bruh, we tryna get home. Any girl on the beach, I'ma grab her. If she bad, then the color don't matter.
So funny enough, while I was doing this, all the fluid, I stopped for a second. You might have seen in the video, the dealership I bought my car from actually called and they said, "Hey man, you wanna trade it in for high dollar value?" Like, I promise you don't want this car. With everything that's done to it, you don't want it.